Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an episode of things I probably shouldn't be doing, but I'm gonna do them anyway. I'm Officer Dan, and today I'm gonna be tackling a brand new GKTech product, the S13, S14 steering rack relocation kit. Basically, this lets you get rid of any offset rack spacers that you're using on an S chassis, and it moves the entire rack forward. You used to have to kind of cut and modify the entire center section, but on a 20-year-old chassis, that's probably not the best idea. So GKTech came up with the solution. So got everything unboxed, and I'm not gonna go over the nitty-gritty like we would in a normal GKTech video because I need to get this done. This car has to be at an event this weekend, and I don't know if I'm gonna do this right, so I may need to find another subframe. But you got your basics, all of the stuff that you need. You got some options. Since the rack is going to be moving forward, you do need the steering shaft spacer, which is thus. Hopefully I can use that because mine's modified and I don't even know if I can use it. So that would be horrible, which is another reason why I'm doing this not on the subframe that's in the car. And then of course, all your brackets. So I'm gonna be running 2 of these tie rod extensions because I already have the offset rack spacers in there, and that should make the alignment pretty close to where it was. Anyway, the whole beginning of the instructions is prep, so that's what we're gonna do right now. So on top of getting rid of the offset rack spacers on both sides, which have bent my racks and I've broken them and so on and so forth, it's been a long time coming, I have received in the mail a Sparky Built steering rack. So that is one of the other reasons why I wanted to do this, because if I was going to replace the rack in this thing anyway, I wanted to do it with one of the best 240SX racks on the market, which is these here Sparky Built ones. I gave him all the specs that I needed. I gave him which angle kit I was using, what I was going to be doing with it, and he custom built this Johnny for me in this beautiful paint, which I'm going to show out in the sun in just a second. But huge thank you to Sparky Built for these racks. I got a spare one plus this one. I'm moving up in the world. So yeah, we're going to be installing this to the newly relocated cross member. Now there are going to be some things that you need to perform all of this stuff because it is pretty labor intensive. For one, assorted drill bits, a center punch, assorted things to clean up metal with, flap discs, etc. Different size cutoff wheels. Hopefully you've saved some of the ones you've run down because it does make precision cutting in small places a little bit easier, and normal cutoff discs. Now that should be all of you need. If you can't get to all the places where you need to sand it, use sandpaper. Now there are a lot of steps on the instructions on getting it out of the car. Luckily, my subframe is right there on the floor, but it's already out of the car. So step 1 for me is going to be to flip it over and remove the spot welds. Now per the instructions, it does say to center punch the spot welds. Then it says to use bigger and bigger drill bits. Until they're drilled out. Now I have no idea if those are actually drilled out or not, but I guess we're gonna find out. So here's something that's pretty important. My printer did not print the template at the correct size. That's supposed to be 50 millimeters and it's measuring in at 43. So I need to go back in and reprint this at 100% and make sure that it's 50 millimeters. So there we go. So now that I've reprinted, this is 50 millimeters on the dot. And then the vertical is as well, so it's not skewed in some random direction. 50 millimeters. So cut this out, use this template instead. Wow, those accidentally fit perfect. Now I would say use this handy dandy GKTech paint pen, but since this is white, I'm going to go ahead and just use a Sharpie for this mark. To the edge of that. And then use the paint marker on the other side. Now, per the instructions, you're supposed to come straight off of this, basically across here, and then down. Well, now there's no coming back from this next step. This is it. Time to get cut. Let's take your favorite cut-off wheel and your favorite safety squints and start the process. And this is where having a couple of different size cutoff wheels comes in real handy. Hopefully. Now, that we have that, it does say that you will cut into the bottom this much, and it is unavoidable, so saith the instructions. So now you learn whether or not you drilled the tack welds out enough, which I absolutely did not do. Well, you live and learn. So I got to get to drilling more of these tack welds. BRB. So it turns out I wasn't that far off. But you do need some sort of a prying device to go ahead and get under there and get them broken apart fully. And there you go. That is now off. Ready to be thrown away. So when you're done cutting, it should look a little like this. Now the next step in the handy dandy instructions is to flatten these two sections out, right there, because they're still raised up, and it says you need to get rid of those to continue. So we're going to swap to the flap disc and get to getting. And there you go. Nice and smooth all the way across. Next step is to try to fit the unit up for the first time, which will tell you right away if you need to trim stuff, which apparently I do. Well, it's not quite wide enough, so I need to trim a little bit more off on this side. Should be good to go. Now we need to finish trimming the rest of these two little bits off in a pattern that resembles that on both sides. Shallow cuts on the top, full length cuts on the flat section. So let's see if I can not mess this up. Now, one thing I will say is if you can't tell what it's saying, like from the printed out instructions, or if your ink is bad, or there's not a lot of contrast on that, so you can just go on to GKTech.com, go to the product page, click on the ASM, and then zoom in, and it shows you a much better idea of what you actually need to cut out. Now the next step is to cut some slits horizontally here and here. Then you're supposed to grab your favorite hammering device and bend those in. How far in? I'm not sure. I'm gonna find out when I measure it. Let's give it a try. See if what I cut off or not is enough or not enough. I mean, it basically goes on. So that's about to make it to the other side. Those are clearanced enough up on both of those sides to get it in. Still need to clean everything up where I'm going to weld, but if I were to hammer that thing down, then you bolt it into place, then you start to do your tack welding. So I think I'm pretty close. I'm just going to clean up everything with the flap disc. We should be good to go. All right, let's test fit again. It's feeling a lot better now that I cleaned it up. A little bit more cleaning to do. So once you have all your trimming done, then you're supposed to insert bolts into the OEM holes here on the front, and then there's one on the back as well. Oops, forgot the washer. Conveniently, there is a hole to tighten said bolt. That's nice. Except for I immediately lost the nut, so I'm gonna have to get that, but you get the point. Get those things nice and tight. And that is ready to be tacked. Now I have it braced as good as I can for it being off the car. It does say to bolt it up, but I can't do that. So we're going to do the top stitch welding, and I'm just going to do a little bit at a time. Time to let that thing cool off, and then we'll flip it over, do the underside. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly how you rookie your way through doing this for the first time. It's daunting, but follow the instructions, cut carefully, and profit. This has been Officer Dan with my own how-to video on how to do this because I never thought I could. But hey, you learn something new every day, and I am stoked to get this powder coated and in the car. Catch you on the flip side. Peace.